Representatives, dear delegates, and guest speakers, welcome to the closing ceremony of the Moldova International Model United Nations 2011 conference. We are happy to have had the chance and to have succeeded to bring this most popular academic international initiative to Moldova, to make it in an international format. We hope that you have enjoyed these 3 days of debates, negotiations. You have reached certain solutions. We really believe that these solutions will help you in your future career, no matter if it's a career of a diplomat or a businessman or another career in another area related to international relations, and where you can put your interdisciplinary skills that you got into practice. We will invite you to attend this closing ceremony with certain special guests and representatives of the partners of the Model United Nations Conference, due to whom actually this initiative was made possible. I would like to first of all acknowledge the United Nations in Moldova, one of the partners of the MDIMUN conference 2011, and I invite Mr. Claude Kahn, Human Rights Advisor at the United Nations Resident Coordinator in the Republic of Moldova, to hold a speech, a closing speech on this initiative, especially that we had the chance and the opportunity to enjoy his speech in the Human Rights Council. So we would like to invite you, Mr. Khan, to also recognize 3 most active and outstanding delegations within the Human Rights Council. Mr. Khan, welcome. And
thank you again for having us here. It's certainly an honor to be able to be with you at the closing ceremony of this Model UN. We were here last year. I think we are always very happy to come to meet with you to speak about issues related to the United Nations and its functioning. Congratulations on the completion of what I understand was a very fruitful week. I hope, as I think all of the panelists hope, that it was an opportunity for you to learn more about the United Nations, learn more about the international system, learn about the way the diplomatic and international law systems address the problems of our times, and in particular, I guess, focusing this time on the problem of conflict and how the international system attempts to maintain peace and deliver better on the problem of international and other kinds of conflicts. Of course, we also hope that you had a good time, because I think the importance of Model UN is not only that it is an educational opportunity, but that it brings people together and enables them to meet and hopefully form friendships and future relationships. I have been given the honor of giving out the Human Rights Awards, which is appropriate for me because I work on human rights at the UN here in Moldova. Human rights is the core business of the UN. We are the home of the international treaties. We are the home of the United Nations Human Rights Council, and we are the home of, ultimately, the founding human rights statement for our modern order, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Also, as a series of agencies in the field here in Moldova, our day-to-day work here in Moldova is related to the promotion and protection of all human rights. And so if you look across the UN and agencies here in the country, UNDP, UNICEF, WHO, UNFPA, the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, and I neglected there 9 other agencies. You will see that all of us, to a greater or lesser extent, are involved in ending violations of the rights of privacy and confidentiality for persons with HIV/AIDS, combating torture and impunity for torture, working on social inclusion of vulnerable groups, including Roma, persons with disabilities, persons with stigmatized diseases, sexual minorities, LGBT persons and groups. We also work on strengthening women's empowerment and the further participation and empowerment of young women, including adolescent girls. We work on efforts to combat violence against women, including domestic violence. We work at measures for the protection of children, refugees, persons in the medical system, and a range of other areas. We work on those issues because we work closely with Moldovans and we hear about the priorities of Moldova in its development agenda, and we hear the concerns that the people of Moldova bring into our office every day. So we hope further with you, especially those of you who will remain here, but also anyone else who is interested, to remain in discussion, and we hope that you will view the United Nations in Moldova as an open place where you can come and discuss with us your issues of concern. I had the honor of taking part in the Human Rights Group, and I therefore had a chance to meet a number of you. I understand that the Human Rights Group work generally on the question of protecting the human rights of refugees fleeing the events of the Arab Spring, as well as on the theme follow-up on decisions concerning racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related forms of intolerance. And I understand that that work was fruitful and interesting, so I hope I'm informed correctly. And I'm now have sitting in front of me the certificates being awarded to the most excellent participants of the Human Rights Group. The 4 council moderators and the UN Model Secretary General have deliberated and decided upon the 3 most excellents from the group. I understand that that was a very difficult series of decisions, but that you are confident in the choices that you've made.
I'm confident in my team.
Confident in the team in the choices that the team had made. So I would like to now call the 3 award winners forward. I should do that over there. Okay. The Tribune, right. Should I take this with me? Are these in order? It's 3. Okay. So the first Human Rights Award for the Human Rights Council goes to Voda Corina of Libya. Would you like to say some words?
Thank you for the vote of confidence. It was really difficult to defend a Libyan position, especially being a minority. It was an honor. I've learned a lot, and I had fun. Thank you.
Right. Okay. The second Human Rights Award goes to, I really hope I pronounced this correctly, Igibartsa Patricia. Okay, so her certificate goes here. And the third Human Rights Award from the Human Rights Council Group goes to Jemlinskaya Vera.
I just wanted to thank you all for this amazing event. I've had an amazing experience with you, and I really had fun. I didn't believe that I will have, but thank you all, and good luck.
once again, we urge all of you to stay in contact. We wish you all success in your future lives and careers, and we hope very much to see you again.
Thank you, Mr. Khan, for the speech. Thank you for handing out the Outstanding Delegation Awards. We, as far as I know from the chairpersons, all the delegations were really good and had an outstanding position. However, you will receive the certificates a little later, the certificates of participation. And at this time, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Ryan Aiken, Assistant Public Affairs Officer of the U.S. Embassy in Moldova, who is also one of the partners of the MDIMUN project in Moldova. And I would like to invite you, Mr. Aiken, to say a closing word, and as well as to hand out the Outstanding Delegate Awards to the Security Council members, especially that you were a speaker in the Security Council, and as we know, the United States of America is a permanent member within this council. Mr. Aiken, welcome here.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me just say that it's my pleasure to be here with Minister Chavanu and also Mr. Khan, as well as you delegates. I am sincerely hopeful that the Security Council was able to reach a better resolution than you felt the Security Council did reach with respect to the Libyan situation. Is that the case?
Yes.
Yes? All right, I would like to hear about it afterwards. So I'll just say a couple of things. As I mentioned to you when I had the opportunity to speak with most of you yesterday, I participated in the Model United Nations when I was an undergraduate. Those 3 years as a Model United Nations delegate were some of the most memorable and worthwhile years as both an undergraduate and then a graduate student because of the reasons that I mentioned yesterday. They allowed me to step out of my little American shoes and view the world through a different prism, as I mentioned, through the prism of the Czech Republic, Albania, and again, through a Hungarian prism, inasmuch as it was possible from Provo, Utah. I hope that you all sincerely enjoyed not only this particular conference, but conferences in which you participated in the past. And it's my hope that this was a very useful experience for you and that you will be motivated to participate in Model United Nations conferences going forward. I think that they are a truly invaluable opportunity for young people across the world to engage in international, transnational issues. They give you a wonderful perspective on truly how difficult it can be to try and resolve some truly substantive and very difficult issues. So I'm happy that you're all here, grateful that we could be a part of this, play a sponsoring role in helping bringing all of you together to enjoy this week's events. So with that, thank you very much, and I'm very excited to give out these awards. Thanks. So the first Outstanding Delegate Award from the Security Council goes to Mr. Alexander Popa, who represented France.
I didn't prepare to speak because I didn't know that I will win. So I want to thank the organizers for a great job. It was really interesting to participate. Also, I want to thank to Mr. Aiken because at one moment we stopped with the resolution. We didn't know if we're doing right or not, and we find a new solution on your advice. We tried, and thank you very much.
Excellent.
Also, I want to thank our chairpersons because they did a great job. Thank you very much. And I wish good luck to all delegates. Thank you.
Our next Outstanding Delegate Award goes to Mr. Alexandru Musteață, representing Germany.
I want to say thanks a lot to the organizer because it's a great opportunity to participate, to say thanks to the Security Council team. We did a great job. It was a great debate for 3 days. Thanks to the chairperson and thanks to all the staff that work on this project. I think they deserve our applause.
And the final Outstanding Delegate Award for the Security Council goes to Timu Kodrin, representing China.
I would like to thank very much the Security Council and the chairpersons for the fruitful debates and meetings that we had. We finally issued one resolution and one presidential statement. And I would also like to thank the organizers for doing such a great job. Thank you.
Again, my dear friends, thank you very much for your very active participation. As I'm sure that you experienced over the last couple of days, what you put into an experience like this is what you get out of it. And I know that in speaking with several of your colleagues, your active participation was what made this Model United Nations Conference a success. So well done.
Thank you, Mr. Aiken, for your participation at this event. We know Mr. Aiken has a very busy schedule, and we are very appreciative of your opportunity to give us a few minutes of your program.
Thank you very much. Certainly no busier than anyone else's, but I do have some place I have to be right now, so thank you.
This was the Security Council and Mr. Aiken as a guest speaker of the Security Council. At the same time, we would like to recognize especially and acknowledge the very important contribution of the Ministry of Youth and Sport of the Republic of Moldova, who is actually the general partner and sponsor of this project. Mr. Ion Cebanu, Minister of Youth and Sport, is present here. Domnul Cebanu, vă mulțumim pentru susținerea pe care ne-ați acordat-o în cadrul organizării acestui proiect. Fără această susținere, inițiativa nu ar fi fost posibilă. Și considerăm că o astfel de susținere din partea Ministerului Tineretului și Sportului, anume în Anul Internațional al Tineretului, este importantă și considerăm că toți tinerii apreciază acest fapt. Vă invităm să țineți un discurs de final al conferinței și să înmânați diplomele de excelență pentru Consiliul Economic și Social, care de fapt a discutat una din cele mai stringente probleme pe agenda ONU, și anume obiectivele de dezvoltare ale mileniului și parteneriatele globale dintre diferite societăți civile.
Excelențele voastre, doamnelor, domnișoarelor și domnilor, dacă îmi permiteți să vorbesc în limba română, am o deosebită plăcere să vă salut pe toți. Îmi pare rău că nu am fost de la început împreună cu dumneavoastră. Vă felicit pentru buna desfășurare și organizare de toți cei care au fost implicați în organizare.
Okay. Dear guests and dear participants, I'm glad to be here. I am unfortunately was not be able to be present from the start of this initiative, from the opening ceremony, but I want to congratulate all of you for taking part in this initiative and for organizing it.
Așa cum s-a menționat, anul acesta este un an internațional al tineretului, declarat internațional al tineretului. În anul acesta am avut câteva realizări. În primul rând, implementarea legii cu privire la voluntariat, voluntariatul fiind una dintre politice pe care le promovează Ministerul Tineretului și Sportului în rândul tinerilor.
As it was previously mentioned, it is important to have this initiative organized during the International Year of Youth declared by the United Nations. We have had a few achievements during this year, including and especially the adoption of the law of volunteerism, which has an important impact for youth.
De ce am menționat acest moment? Pentru că eu cred că în contextul a ceea ce vom amâna mai departe în Consiliul Economic și Social și ceea ce s-a discutat și obiectivele de dezvoltare, eu cred că voluntariatul privește o categorie și o dimensiune a societății noastre care duce și la dezvoltarea inclusiv și socială și economică a societății în ansamblu și a tinerilor.
Why did I mention especially about volunteerism is because volunteerism is important, including for this committee that you have simulated, the Economic and Social Council. It has many interconnections with the objectives, the Millennium Development Goals, and it brings towards the development on each of the levels, both economic, social, and cultural.
Alături de un alt element important, indispensabil al politicilor de tineret, și anume mobilitatea tinerilor.
And this next to one other important aspect of the volunteerism is the mobility of youth among the country and among different countries.
Mă bucur sincer pentru că ați avut ocazia la un asemenea eveniment de un asemenea nivel să puneți în discuții și să dezbateți anumite probleme. Sunt sigur aici au fost atinse și anumite probleme cu care Republica Moldova are tangențe. Asta este foarte important pentru viitoarea generație de economiști, de politicieni, de lideri ai societății din Republica Moldova.
I'm happy and I'm pleased to acknowledge that you have dealt with certain issues that I'm sure or Mr. Cebanov is sure that has interconnections with the specific issues that are connected to youth in the Republic of Moldova.
Ori statul nostru și Ministerul Tineretului și Sportului are drept scop de a evidenția și a remarca tinerii cu inițiativă, tinerii care au ceva de spus și care vor să spună.
As one of the main goals of our country and our state is to recognize and to acknowledge the youth that have initiative, that want to say something and have the ability to do that.
Cu permisiunea noastră am să fac aceeași procedură cu diplomele de excelență.
And with your permission, I will continue with handing out the outstanding delegation awards to the most active delegates in the Economic and Social Council.
Vom începe cu Sajem Stanislav.
Thank you. Actually,
Speech-ul de rigoare, da?
yeah. Actually, the biggest fear I have after the conference is that I'll have multiple personality disorder. After saying so many times we and our, after being corrected so many times on that, I want to actually thank the chairperson for showing so much forbearance to me as a representative of India and to other delegates. And then also, initially I thought it would be a disaster because we took 3 hours to settle on the agenda, but things turned out quite well. So thank you.
za Dnipru, Iulian.
First of all, I would like to thank the Secretary General and the chairpersons for coordinating our work together. Like my colleague said, Stas Sajani, the most difficult point at our discussion was actually debating on settling the agenda, but we got over it, and we actually achieved a kind of record, like passing four resolutions, which is a local record. This meeting. Then I would like to thank the organizers. I think it was a good organization of the event. I met many interesting people here, with which I will maintain contact for the future. I don't know, maybe future events for MDIMUN. And last but not least, I would like to thank all the commission. It was a pleasure for me working with you. I think we did a great job. Thank you, all of you.
Și domnișoara Șilova Ecaterina.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, dear chairpersons. On behalf of the people in Japan, we'd like to thank also the Secretariat and the Organizational Committee for giving this awesome opportunity to us. This experience will surely go into one of the best days of the summer, and it was also an experience to learn how to get out of the mess that you got yourself into. So I guess the committee will agree on that. So thank you, everybody, and we all had a great time. Thank you.
Baftă și realizări și succese în continuare. Baftă!
Domnul Ceban, vă mulțumim pentru disponibilitatea de a participa la acest eveniment. Este important pentru noi, toți tinerii. Și cu permisiunea noastră aș vrea să ofer cuvântul iarăși domnului Claude Khan. I would like to give the word to Mr. Khan again, taking into consideration that we have another fourth committee. However, I would like to recognize IREX Moldova also as a partner of the Model United Nations who supported this initiative, was the first partner to support this initiative in 2010 as well as in 2011. That is important. Unfortunately, representatives of IREX Moldova were not able to be present here, but we would like to invite Mr. Khan to say a few words on the Disarmament International Security Committee and to hand out the Outstanding Delegation Awards. They have worked really hard to adopt the resolution on non-proliferation and the disarmament of small arms and light weapons. Hopefully that was an efficient and productive resolution. Mr. Khan, you have the floor.
I'm not going to give a second speech. I understood that you had a very productive session, so congratulations. I would like to say if I can say one more thing from the human rights hat that I neglected to say. I just wanted to mention that actually, I'm not sure if you're aware, but today, for the first time, there's a new Human Rights Council president, and for the first time, a woman has been elected to the presidency of the Human Rights Council. Is the ambassador of Uruguay. I don't remember her name, but that is a milestone in the development of the Human Rights Council as an institution, and I think an important signal for women's empowerment globally. So, with that, I will turn now to the Disarmament and International Security Committee and give out the awards. And they go to Bodnar Inga, who is the United States.
First of all, I want to thank the organizers that you did a great job. And the second, of course, I want to thank to our chairpersons because they guide us and we had a fruitful cooperation. Thank you once again.
The second award goes to Stahi Tatiana, who is the representative.
Thank you. Thank you all. I want to thanks to our organizers, to our secretariat. Also, I want to thank to our chairperson. They did a great job, and also to my colleagues. And I have had a great experience working in this council, and I think we are all looking forward to meeting you to the other months. Thank you.
The third award goes to State Speranza.
Thank you. I would like to say thank you to the organizers for giving us this opportunity. Of course, we would like to thank our chairpersons because now we think that we have the best couple chairpersons in the event. I would like to thank also to my colleagues and to say that we did a great job and we had fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. With this being said, this concludes our part with handing out the awards and recognizing the 4 committees. We hope in the future, if we extend this initiative, we hope to make to be able to simulate even more committees of the United Nations. It's important for us that we simulated the Human Rights Council and a committee of the General Assembly, of which Republic of Moldova are part of. I would like to, at this time, I'd like to give special thanks to the Secretariat, to the chairpersons, especially taking into account that it was your dedication and contribution that made the content of this conference be at the highest level as it was. And I will now give the floor to the Secretary General of the MDIMUN 2011 conference, Mr. MDIMUN, to elaborate on this aspect and also to recognize the chairpersons and their delegates. Mr. Mandrajiev, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Olga. Distinguished Excellencies, honorable guests, members of the press, participants, friends, future colleagues. First, before I would like to give the word to the chair couples one by one. 5 minutes of moderated Cox and visual speaking time per couple, 5 minutes. Okay, got it. Okay, Security Council, please come to the stand. Okay guys, this is Andrei Yovo, who hasn't met him still. This is Mr. Andrei Yovo from Moldova. And we have a special participant as a colleague chairperson of Mr. Andrei Yovo, Mr. Alexander Vasilyev from Russia. Honorable chairpersons, you have 5 minutes on the floor.
We will proceed with a moderated caucus. So thank you very much for your participation. It was a great occasion to meet you all. Too bad that the Security Council is not that big. To have you all in our Security Council to see the participation of each other, because according to the feedback, and I do believe them, that you all participated very fruitfully in the MDIMUN 2011. I wish you all the best, and I hope that for many of you this was a great start. For many of you maybe it was already not the first experience with United Nations. What I would like to wish you all the time to have your dreams in your mind and to pursue them in order to achieve your goals, no matter if you receive today an outstanding delegate or not. You are outstanding for your life, and you should always have your dreams in mind and to implement them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. It was a pleasure working with you as well as with all the participants. I will not repeat all the warm words that my colleague has just said. I will dwell upon the substantive matters and I will furthermore tell you how the sessions of the Security Council actually went. So the first topic was the situation in Libya, and basically we achieved a resolution. We adopted a resolution. Moderated caucuses were really marvelous. Unmoderated caucuses didn't turn into unmoderated chaoses. That was a good achievement, honourable delegates. It was a real pleasure to work with you on this topic. But the second topic, the situation in Kosovo. As we all know, this is a very contradictory issue, and we achieved less success than with the first topic, because all the drafts that were on the floor were vetoed by the permanent members, and we issued a presidential statement of consensus, just to show that we did the job, and we did it well. Thank you very much. Hope to see you all.
Seats.
Thank you.
Okay. Honorable participants at Moldova International Model United Nations Premier Edition 2011. It is my pleasure now to proceed with the most lovely chairperson couple, the chairpersons of the Human Rights Council. And these are Ms. Natalia Kataranchuk and Ms. Nina Spataro.
Thank you, Honorable Secretary General, honorable guests, and fellow chairpersons, dear participants. Our Human Rights Council, the participants were the best ever. That's our opinion. That was due to the fact that we had 2 resolutions adopted, which means that cooperation was as a first priority. Thank you for making our work so easy, because you understood everything from the first. Thank you for being so active. Hope to see you next time at other MDIMUNs. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to add that according to the feedback we received from our participants, they all stated that they would like to come back to the moon to take place next year. So I really hope this will happen, and we will meet you in 2011 at Moldova International Model United Nations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson. Honourable participants, we will continue with the chairpersons of the Economic and Social Council. Those are Mr. Sergei Savin from Moldova and Mr. Andrei Stoichev from Bulgaria.
So, you go first, I'll go second.
Okay. Thank you very much, honorable guests, honorable secretariat, organizers, dear participants. It was an honor, first of all, to be part of this event. It was an honor to be one of us, one of you. I really find this event very well. I'll speak about our council committee. This, what can I say? Phew. I can say a lot of things, but I will try to summarize it very and to be very constrained in explanations. We were like a diesel engine that was turned on very slowly, real slow. But then after the engine was like getting heat on, got hot, we just couldn't stop them. I think if we would have another 1-2 days, we would have, I don't know, like we would break all the records, and I think they would be needing a lot of years to equalize them. So I want to say that the delegates were prepared, and I wish them not to stop here, because I see in you a lot of potential, and don't get demoralized when we chairpersons are not agree with you on the issues. We are doing this because we know that you can do more. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Okay, and it comes to the part when I'm supposed to speak. I'll be less formal and just say a few things. Well, for me, it's not exactly what happened during the proceedings. Yeah, we started very shaky, actually the shakiest of the starts I ever seen. But what really mattered is not the beginning, but the end. The end was like a complete explosion. I mean, you guys were producing those resolutions like there is no tomorrow. I'm practically sure that if you had 2 more days, you could taken care of 4 more topics. I don't know how, but I'm pretty certain of that. You're like this in development when you came, and now you're practically here. I mean, for you, the learning curve I've seen is simply immense. I've never seen something like that. But the most important part is the feeling you're left after all of this. And the feeling I'm left with is what I can say. You're the best committee I've ever chaired, and I pretty much would like to chair you again, please, if you don't mind. Thanks.
And we will conclude with the fourth UN organ that was simulated at this premier edition of MDIMUN. And maybe the most lovely future cooperation relationship couple we don't know still. Okay. Please welcome the chairpersons of the Disarmament and International Security Committee. Ms. Michaela Cebari from Moldova, and Mr. Mihai Stoica from Romania.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the organizers and the whole secretariat team for giving me the opportunity to chair this really very nice committee. And I really I'm sure that the Human Rights Council was really great, but I tend to believe that the ISEC was the best. I'm very proud of you, and I really hope that we made you feel good, and we teach you something, maybe you learn something from us, and we really tried to make the atmosphere feel more friendly, because you are really friends for us, not just delegates.
Thank you. I will start with a short remark. One of my friends said that, as we all know, the Disarmament and International Security Committee is also called the first committee of the General Assembly, and it's not called the first committee for no reason. The thing is that I've been involved in many MUNs until now, but I've never seen so many delegates who want to study so much and who are so much interested in studying about the UN. Although they had virtually no MUN experience until now, most of them they were very interested in finding out what's happening, what the MUNs are about, and what the UN deals with. I'm very happy I've been here. It was a plan of mine to come to Moldova one day, and this happened these days. And I also want to say that today I'm not celebrating only my birthday. I'm also I'm also celebrating a great event, which was indeed Moldova International Model United Nations. Congratulations to you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the part I hate most. I hate that part because it ends something for which, like, almost a week, your faces are like this, smiling, and in a couple of minutes your faces will go like this. But we have to finish it the way we started it. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be here with you today. It is a pleasure that we started an initiative, and I feel as a pioneer. I hope that all of you feel like this, because Moldova International Model UN, this edition, the first edition, belongs not to me, not to Olga, it belongs to all of us. All of us that were here today, that were here yesterday, the day before, during even not the days, but the nights we spent here, or in the clubs, or outside, or in TV shows at 6 in the morning, like today for me. Anyways. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure, and it is an honor to be here. For me, this event couldn't have been possible without Miss Olga Bogdan. It wouldn't have been possible without the team that supported Olga, so this goes out for the team. It wouldn't have been possible without the generous supporters, partners, and not final, but very important, the sponsors of this initiative. I would like to thank the ministries, agencies, companies, non-governmental organizations, and other sources of funding that made this initiative possible, with having this great facility, with having the ability to come here in Chisinau and to have a wow conference. I'm not going to tell you a personal story. I will conclude with the following. 2 years ago, I was thinking whether one day I will come to Moldova. Well, it was 1 year ago I met Olga. Well, now I'm thinking whether next year I'm gonna come to Moldova, of course. And I know the answer. I'm gonna come because I know all of you, because I love the green city of Chisinau. Yeah, the weather is a bit sticky and rainy sometimes, that's another issue. But in the end, I'm extremely proud that I was here with you guys, the delegates, the participants, and of course with my lovely, professional, special team, the team of the chairpersons. the so-called M team, Michnea and Mishka, the so-called A team, Andrei and Alexander, the so-called S teams, Mr. Andrei Stoichev and Mr. Sergei Savin, and the so-called N team, Nina and Natalia. Thank you very much. Once again, I'll make a thing I don't like to make, but I'm used to it, so don't remember me with something bad. From now on, after I say my final words, you may refer to me not as SG, but as a person. I have a name. Ladies and gentlemen, with the powers invested in me from the Organizing Committee of Moldova International Model United Nations, Organizing Committee and Executive Committee, as being in the position of the Secretary General of this conference, it is an honor, it was an honor, and it will still be. I declare Moldova International Model United Nations 2011 closed. If you want to sit, I'm not an SG.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General, for the tremendous experience and input that you have brought to this conference, starting not only with the conference itself, but with a very long preparation phase, starting with October. A lot of efforts are behind the scene conference, and we hope that all of the participants and everybody understand and appreciate the efforts that all of us together, especially the organizing committee, have put into this initiative. And I would like to thank you at this time, the partners. Once again, Mr. Ceabanu, mulțumim din partea organizatorilor pentru Ministerul Tineretului și Sportului, partenerul general al proiectului, care de fapt a fost partenerul care a deci, aprobat această idee foarte rapid. Procesul nu a durat atât de lung cum ar fi durat în alte instituții și asta contează mult pentru noi. Vă mulțumim pentru încrederea acordată și sperăm că am reușit să ajungem sau să întâlnim așteptările pe care le-ați avut. At this time, I would like to recognize especially the organizing committee that has contributed enormously to the organization of this event. Without their participation and without their involvement, this event, as previously said, about the Secretariat was not possible. The organizing committee and the Secretariat together, this is the way teamwork is achieved for the MUN conference. The certificate for human resources and recruitment team member is offered to Tatiana Juravska. Unfortunately, she's not able to be here, but thanks for her involvement. Certificate for human resources and recruitment team member is offered to Nina Spetaru. Thank you for your involvement. Certificate for involvement in the human resources and recruitment team as well. Certificate for in the marketing and PR team department, and not only, is offered to Victoria Vlad. active involvement is offered to Alexandru Lebedev, who has been involved in the marketing department. And not only, as you can see today, he's not present, but involved in the work of the conference. A certificate for active involvement is offered to Dorina Linga. Certificate for active involvement in the logistics and events team is offered to Fatima Jallo. Last but not least, certificate for active involvement and special thanks go to Tatiana Morai, who unfortunately was not able to be here, but who took upon the initiative later, but dedicated 100% to this initiative. Thank you so much, everybody, for your involvement. As mentioned earlier by the Secretary General, we can do this initiative only all together, only united, just like the United Nations. Thank you. At this time, I would like to invite all of you to join us for the Moldovan traditional dinner at 8:30, maximum 9. 8:30 is the time. We know that some of you tend to be late, but we hope that you will not be. You have the details in your agenda. We are looking forward to see you for the final social event there. Thank you for coming. One last remark?
One last remark. I think that the final applauses should be for that person.
Just a little announcement. Everybody, please don't leave. We have group pictures, okay? First picture, we would like to invite everybody, if we have space here, to take a picture with the Ministry of Youth and Sport. Is that okay? Or can we invite the outstanding delegations, and then we'll take another one with all the delegates.